I watched my sons be the best. That I could look at these pictures and I got so emotional when I went through these pictures. Each one of these pictures I can draw a memory of just excellence. And this is my job.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream.
What you looking at is 110 rounds out of nigga ass, nigga. Act like you know what time it is, baby. Putting it down for that hood life, volume 3, nigga. You know what time it is? Where my Florida niggas at? You know my motherfucking name. Where you from? Smooth, bitch. Where you from? Yeah. Where you
Is this the character Dr. King was talking about? That he wanted his children to live by? He gave the speech in 1963 in hopes that American people will live under the creed of being created equal. Are our black males living up to that creed? Or are they enamored with the illusion of being a gangster?
Provide an environment for them to release that aggressive energy. They won't have to go out into these gangs and all kind of alternative sources that can get them in trouble or lead them into jail.
You know, we here downtown, you know, it's your boy from Kansas City, J Ward, you feel me, in the building, though. CC, home of Murder Grove, you know.
Well, early intervention and prevention is always better. Catch these guys in elementary school and middle school who are falling behind in their grade level, because this is putting them at risk for not graduating from high school. If a young man gets behind 1 or 2 years behind his grade level, his chances of graduating from high school drop dramatically. They know this, and so you need to intervene early.
I just figured that was just a part of life, you know. I always was around violence. It wasn't, you know, nothing that kind of shook me, you know. I seen some things. I seen a lot of stuff, you know. Not say combat, but it is combat, because it's war out here in these streets for real. If people ain't realizing it, you know, people die left and right, and after a while you get kind of used to that, you know. It's a sad thing always. You don't want to see anybody hurt. But that's part of life.
Like many young males, BJ Fletcher showed a keen sense of athletic ability.
I was sports, wrestling, boxing, all kind of, you know what I'm saying, combat type stuff. I did football. I was a physical person, so I did all the physical type stuff. That was me all day.
According to U.S. crime and data statistics, 100% of cities with a population of over 250,000 people report gang violence. Florida's capital, Tallahassee, has a metropolitan area of more than 370,000 people. Tallahassee was recently named the 8th most dangerous city in America, according to Forbes' 2011 list of most dangerous cities. In fact, Tallahassee ranked higher than any other city in the state of Florida.
Well, all of the communities are impacted, but generally inside the I-10 corridor, you're going to find more of a concentration. The north side, south side, west side, Appalachia Ridge, Orange Avenue, Griffin Heights, some of those areas where, you have the low SES and more of a, of an opportunity for the gangs to proliferate and recruit these young men.
Oh yeah, this Section 8, most definitely Section 8. So you got people stay in the project. Well, hold on, you got people stay in the country. For real, you can't forget about the country, you know what I'm saying? People stay in the country, then when they move up, they might move up to a project or something like that. And after the projects, if they so lucky they move up to Section 8 and they keep on striving, they might make it to a little middle class neighborhood. But where you stay, it don't determine what kind of person you is. You can go in neighborhoods that look nice, but have all kind of killers and drug dealers out there. Just because you don't see them out there on the street doing gangster stuff like you see on TV, don't mean that ain't the kind of person now, because some neighborhoods they out here, you know what I'm saying, look nice, but you know what I'm saying, you got cooks in the kitchen.
I think a lot of them join gangs mainly for that initial family relationships that they need that they're not getting at home. One thing that we find out over a lot of the studies that we've done as well is that a lot of them don't realize that they're in gangs.
This is an AK-47 on the streets. They call it a chopper.
They feel that they just get together to be with their homeboys or their neighborhood friends, but the things that they do, the type of activity they get involved in, causes them to meet that criteria to be a certified gang.
Yeah, that's that perk right there. Lasers, lights, extra clips, legs, the fucking rental.
They have somebody to look up to. They have someone who they feel that's going to also protect them. They see it as a way of being more financial stable.
My lasers on deck, I got my lights on deck. And got the high power scope, see a nigga from about 500, 600 yards out and still kill that nigga.
So what we try to do now is trying to really educate a lot of our young black boys or men, I would say, to let them know what the criteria and what the statutes say as to what causes them to be a gang member.
This Fourth Ave now, this Fourth Ave, people used to claim Fourth Ave real hard back in the day, you know what I'm saying? You still see some survivors out here in little Fourth Ave tattoos and people still claim Fourth Ave. This used to be what it was. It's still, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm about to say. There's still a few people who still active and moving around about. Police still be on patrol, But for the most part, I ain't gonna say that, them being on patrol is a bad thing, but I would say be aware. Like, these projects completely changed. Don't even look the same no more.
Meet Maria Rory. She is a 40-year-old Tallahassee woman who has had a great setback within the last year. Her house is emptier than normal. In the last month, both of her sons have been incarcerated due to gang violence. Miss Rory had to divorce her husband over a decision of choosing him or her two sons. She chose her sons.
My son is 16. My ex-husband, which is the one on the picture right here with the bald head, he known him ever since he was 9 months old. We dated for 3 years because I wanted to make sure he was the right man. Not that he was right for me. He been in their life since he was 9 months, but I want to make sure that he was compatible with my children. Do you really want to be a father? You have that right because you ain't a biological father. Make a long story short, he handled it for so many years, but when my sons started getting their own mind and letting the world tell them who they supposed to be, that was bumping heads like raging bulls.
Rory, like many black mothers of young teenage boys, had to attend her son's court dates. She believed the amount of time the Juvenile Justice Department was trying to give her 16-year-old was more time than his crime should have gotten him. This is what you call trumped up charges.
So what is our society really getting to? The thing is, you better not get in no trouble as a young adult black man, because you gonna get the double the power. You gonna get double the amount. You know what? I meant to tell you this too. When I sat there and the public feeling so, well, I guess you got your way. How you gonna talk to me and this is my child you supposed to be representing? And the state ended up giving him 9 to 12 instead of 18 to 36.
Well, I guess he got your way.
You see what I'm saying? That's supposed to be my way though.
We've been doing quite a few things here. We get involved with the educational side of it. We have workshops here teaching our young men how to stay away from gangs, giving them activities and programs mainly to keep them doing constructive things. I'm a strong believer in that. I think if you leave your mind open, like they always say, you know, the idle mind is the devil's workshop. So what we try to do is keep them, at least make it available to them to do constructive things, and that's what Walk of Wood has been doing for the past 35 years.
This community has come together. 50 Large is a family connection for these young men, and the partners all around this city who have come together are serious about making sure that if a young man wants to have a different outlook on life, a positive outlook on his future, he can have it.
My biggest regret is not being the positive influence to my folks, my brothers, my cousins, and people that looked up to me in that way. I wanted to give them an opportunity to be something better than I was. I wish I would have gave that to them instead of glorifying the negativities out there.
Let me read this a little bit further because I had a point to this. I said, don't get me wrong. That will teach you well. I only ask that you take your time and choose wisely. Some things just come to me. Jail is almost the only place you can go to the same place and meet lawyers, doctors, robbers, sports members, plumbers, preachers, common man. Don't care. I'm just saying, because I want him to really, this ain't the time for you to give up when you're in prison. This ain't the time when you're on your back to give up. Our society taught us to fight even harder, you know what I mean? And so, as a mother, I don't want you to give up, even if you feel like you should, because it's a tomorrow.
If they make the commitment, if they say to themselves and their family that I have decided that I don't want to go down this road and end up in jail or in the grave, I want to have a chance to build a bright future for myself and for my family. And so there is a way out, and that's why we do the work that we do at 50 Large.
Praise them for doing something good and positive with their life. That's all somebody needs. Praise, hey man, you doing something good. I'll pat them back. That's a good job, man.